Alright guys, this is literally how I got my butt whooped. Not even, bro. Literally, this is actually how I got screwed over while trading. So, let's start off with today's video. My daily bias was honestly based off of equilibrium today. We're bearish on all 4 hour and we're bearish on all high time frame. But however, we were way below equilibrium. So I wanted to see price come and retrace at least a little bit above on the daily, if not the 4 hour. Um, we were way too oversold, way too overfilled. I mean, way too oversold for us to continue lower at least. So in the future, I do want to see price come into this high time frame imbalance right here on this 4 hour because this was a crazy wick. But my main reason why I was bullish today was because of ES's new week opening gap, and right here on ES we're literally filling in this gap as we speak. So helping out with my bias, but we had this new week opening gap right here on ES that I wanted to see get filled. It was a very tiny gap. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, right here, very tiny gap. I wanted price to push in towards. So that was basically what my whole bias was coming into today. And yeah, coming in, literally it was honestly pretty solid to say the least. Okay, I don't know why that's it. Okay. Whoa. Bruh. Yeah. Um, Today was pretty solid to say the least. During the overnight session, we were in pretty much in a consolidation range. We were respecting bearish order flow. However, coming into New York AM session, we ended up taking a crazy dump, wiping out London session liquidity, and then we also had this previous drawn liquidity right here from like months ago, back in September. It seemed that price was drawing for this area liquidity. I accidentally marked this out just in case price was gonna want to dump even more onto these hourly lows, like if you're respecting bearish order flow still. But I figured, okay, if price were to come down, sweep this area liquidity, this might target the reversal for price to continue on its way, like in a direction and like potentially fill in equilibrium. Target equilibrium and target this new week opening gap because this was the main draw on liquidity right here. And from there, price ended up sweeping there on the 5 minute, and then we ended up creating a 5 minute order block, technically a 3 minute order block. This whole thing, this whole down counter right here was the order block. I was basically waiting for like anything to give me like buying pressure out of it, and we ended up getting just that. Okay, we ended up getting a tap. Whoa. Okay, we ended up getting a tap into it, and then from there we ended up getting a push up into the out of the 5 minute order block. Well, 5 minute, 3 minute order block, whatever you want to call it. From there, I basically looked onto the 3 minute to see like if we had any inversions or did we disrespect. Yeah, if we had any 3 minute inversions or like any 3 minute bearish confluences on our left hand side that we disrespected. We did not. We were still in this huge 5 minute range. And while we were in this 5 minute range, ES was already making its legs up towards London session highs, which was one of my draws in liquidity to target this new week opening gap. And from there, excuse me, from there, ES was honestly way too ahead of Nasdaq. Also YM, the Dow Jones. All right, my bad for the cut, but there's definitely gonna be an edit in here. But if you go to the Dow Jones, if you guys didn't know, Nasdaq, the S&P, and Dow Jones, they're all correlated indexes, correlated pairs. So they're all gonna follow after one another. Um, by the time YM was making its move, YM was all the way up here by the time Nasdaq and ES. I mean, by the time ES was already before it took its high. Um, and Nasdaq was the very lagging indicator because we were just fighting in between this um imbalance. Price really just kept rejecting off of it. We did not want to inverse it for the longest time. Like, I kid you not, this was the craziest accumulation range I have ever even witnessed in my entire life, trading career at least, because this was just disgusting. From 10:05 to literally for an hour we were just consolidating in this range, and it was bad. We were making relatively equal highs, which I knew price was gonna want to at least come push towards, which we ended up pushing towards. But by then I was already stopped out, so let's go back to my trade. Again, I went down to the 3 minute to see if we disrespected like any imbalances. We didn't have any imbalances to really take a trade off of. Not imbalance, take a trade off any inversions on the 3 minute. So honestly, from there I just got onto the 1 minute, looked for some good execution points, and my execution was honestly based off of this fair value gap. Um, excuse me, not this one because this one created a second fair value gap, but my entry was based off of this fair value gap right here. We ended up pushing above. We ended up closing above the halfway point. I'm starting to count. I'm starting to trying to start to count in the not halfway point. We ended up closing up. Okay, there's definitely gonna be another edit in here as well. So I entered off of this fair value gap right here. We ended up closing way above it, and in turn I was like, okay, that's pretty good as well. We also respected equilibrium. So on top of that, we respected 1 minute equilibrium. Came in down into 1 minute equilibrium. I did not use order flow, however. Well, I did not use the 70. Okay, whoa there, Johnny. Okay, I did not use the 79 fib tool, but however, I'm pretty sure we ended up respecting. Yeah, we didn't retrace down into it, but we did, however, come into equilibrium, and that's pretty much all that matters. Came into equilibrium, came into the imbalance, bullish close, entered. It was pretty short and sweet. Stops were below this. Well, I chilled my stops actually. My first stop was below this gap because I didn't see price wanting to come down to this gap. I saw no reason to. Then again, I didn't factor in that we had an untapped freaking order block. I didn't figure out. I mean, I didn't realize that we had a not untapped order block. We ended up tapping into it, but I guess price wanted to come down into this range because ES already took its high, and whenever price takes a significant key level, there's always going to be a reversal. Even if for a couple minutes, there's always going to be a reversal after price takes its key level. So as soon as ES took that high, Nasdaq was about to close out of this gap, and we literally ended up not doing so. And then from there, following that, ES reversed, creating an internal SMT, which literally screwed me over so bad, bruh. Hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where am I? Okay, here we are. Created an internal SMT right here on ES due to that high time frame, not high time frame, due to the reversal after taking out its key level. We ended up making this SMT, and from there, that's low key when I started praying to God because we were creating all these relatively equal highs, and I thought price was gonna want to at least fill in this imbalance range because that's what it seemed like we were doing for the longest time. We were in this imbalance range, and we were also in this bullish imbalance range, just filling in orders for the time being. My thought idea behind this was okay, we're just gonna come down, fill in more orders, and then take off more. Uh, it was late for me to kind of realize that ES already took out its high time frame key level, but my end goal for this whole day was this new week opening gap. I knew price wanted to take out this opening gap because one, we were close to take it out. Two, there was no sell side liquidity for us to even go down and even touch anymore. Um, at least for like any recent time space. And three, this new week opening gap was just so succulent and just so beautiful. Like after we hit this high time frame, I knew we were gonna want to at least hit a reversal before we took out 8 in session, and then fill in this gap. And yeah, after okay, there's gonna be another edit in this video. I'm so sorry, guys, but first take profit was morning liquidity. These morning highs from the 5 minute. Um, this was the beginning of this imbalance right here. Maybe looking at it now in hindsight, I probably should have targeted. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, but before I get to my take profits, my original stop loss was actually right here below this, but I was eventually trailing my stop losses because I figured like okay, if price what do we call it, if price is already filling in his imbalances, we have no reason to come back down if we're respecting bullish order flow. I was not even thinking about the fact that that ES was close to taking out its high time frame level, and then after hitting that level, we were gonna see a reversal to imbalance. To come and fill in more PD arrays, and that's exactly what we did. Hit a reversal, came and filled in this 5 minute, 3 minute, whatever you want to call it, order block. Excuse me, even filled in this breaker block as well before taking off. Um, and price literally hit take profit one, and then last take profit would have been 8 London session highs for my Nasdaq trade. Overall, this was a 3RR trade, 2.99, whatever you want to call it. Um, First take profit was 1 minute morning liquidity. Okay, bruh, it was morning liquidity because any high that's formed literally right when market opens, that's good generated liquidity. I wanted this to be my partials, and then from there I would have moved towards the break even, and then boom, price would have continued higher. Um, I genuinely see no mistake with me making this trade. Like, I followed all of my rules. My bias was correct. Um, Originally I was bearish. Actually, originally I was going into today bearish, but due to the fact that we were so discounted, like if you look at this sell-off that we've had for literally the past couple, for the whole past week, if you look at this entire sell-off, 7%. Price is gonna want to come up in balance sometime sooner rather than later. And now, especially since it's a new week and we had that new week opening gap, that honestly led me to believe that okay, we're gonna want to come in and fill. We're gonna want to come in and fill whatever is here before we continue on our trend, either upwards, downwards, sideways, whatever. Um, I was originally bearish, but until price hit those high time frame key levels, and then we saw reversal, and then I saw 5 minute order flow being respected. From there, I was like, okay, that's even better for me because we're gonna hit this gap. But I mean, yeah, nonetheless, this was a pretty well executed trade. I followed every one of my rules, but I think one thing I need to correlate and add on to the fact is that as soon as ES takes its high and Nasdaq didn't, I should definitely take some of my position off. Cause by the time Nasdaq, I mean, by the time ES already took its high, it was like right here. Um, and this is literally like not even a 1-to-1. We had equal highs. This is not even a 1-to-1, and I'm like, bruh. So just keeping it above here, it would have been a good RR. But nonetheless, pretty executed, well trade. We had all my confluence respected. We had bullish order flow being respected, which is the main thing that you want to see whenever you want to take a trade. You want to see the order flow that is being respected. And yeah, I mean, nonetheless, hope you guys enjoyed. uh, Going into April, well, March, we're ending it off literally. Honestly, we ended it off unprofitable, unfortunately. Actually, I'm gonna do the math. Actually, and we're gonna see how I ended up March. If we ended up March profitable, that's good. April, we're coming back with the. We're going back. We're literally hitting these bangs because my executions are just. I don't know. I don't want to say my executions are bad. My executions are like obviously good. I think it's just the way of the game, to be honest. I definitely could have caught another entry after we tapped into this order block and got a retracement back out. Um, Excuse me. But it was the fact that one, I was in class, and two, there was just no point of even like wanting to take another trade anymore at this point because like I knew that price was gonna want to hit my TP. I just did not want to just be able to get back in the markets and just get that revenge trading field. No, I'm really still one and done type of person. Two, if I really see a really good setup, and then we ended up really did seeing that good setup. But like I said, I was going to class. Um, Prices market is just now loading. Hello. I guess that's the end of the video. I will see you guys tomorrow and on my tiktok.com/trades. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for 41 subscribers. We are growing slowly but freaking surely, baby. We're gonna get profitable. We're gonna passive funded. We're gonna do all these things. We're gonna scale, and we're just gonna be a better human, bro. That's literally why I came on social media in the first place. Is to be a better person while trying to become profitable. Nonetheless, I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. I'll see you guys on my TikTok today if you guys want to go see my TikTok. Uh, Nonetheless, come give me a kiss. Kiss goodbye. I love you guys. Peace.